It's been months since many Charlestonians have seen former mayoral candidate Toby Smith. In this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with her one-on-one.
Toby!
Quintin!
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
I haven't seen you since, what, November of last year?
November. Time flies.
And I'm wondering, how are you personally?
I'm doing great. I finally realized I wasn't going to get to be mayor, and I decided to move on.
Well, I'm going to get to that in just a second, but I want to fast forward to tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is June 11th. I know that you've been busy with a very important project.
Yes.
And you actually said the following on Facebook, quote, June 11th, Jenkins Institute, toughest Zimbabwe will step on the campus founded by his great-grandfather, Reverend Daniel Jenkins. It's going to be a very special event. Get your tickets today. So as we sit here right now, what can people expect from that particular event?
Well, Toby Zimbabwe is an extraordinary young man, Quintin. He is so talented. And for me personally, getting to have a connection to Reverend Daniel Joseph Jenkins is extraordinary. He did so much. He was an entrepreneur before entrepreneurs were born. He founded the first newspaper, the Charleston Messenger, which there are copies of in Columbia. Of course, the Jenkins Orphanage Band, what do we say about that? Which launched the careers of so many incredible jazz musicians. The cradle of jazz is right here. And Toughest comes tomorrow, steps on the campus, and will play compositions of his uncle, Edmund Thornton Jenkins, which was first premiered here in Spoleto. His works had been hidden for years, and now they've been uncovered, and his own original compositions. Toughest is also the keyboardist on Saturday Night Live. So for him to be in Charleston is a big deal, and for me, it kind of just brings the circle together.
Wow. Speaking of which, we're going to have a Phil Circle next week. As you know, it's been a year since the Mother Emanuel tragedy, which is down the street.
Yes.
Take me back down memory lane and tell me, where are you emotionally 1 year later?
It's interesting you would ask that. I was at Charleston Place Saturday, one day this week, and I saw the picture of Reverend Clementa Pinckney, and it just kind of hit me all over again that vibrant, huge human is gone. And then I got to thinking about his daughters, how beautiful they are. And I didn't know Mrs. Pinckney, but I asked people who do know her how she's doing. And the answer is she's getting better. So I think we have to take some lessons from them. They kept going. They set up a foundation. They're blessing nonprofits. They're making something positive come out of this. And that's what I want to do, Quintin. I want to make sure that I take the time I have and leave a good legacy. And through my works with children and work with nonprofits, because we've been given a chance to do something very special. He did it. And he just didn't get the length of years that we talk about, but his impact is huge. So I think about the families a lot. I read a fabulous story about Sharonda Singleton's son the other day. I just pray they're okay. I pray they know that we haven't forgotten them. But this is a lonely walk, and they're going to have to walk this out after all the attention stops. So I hope that they're all right. I hope they know that they're loved.
And you said that, Reverend Clementa Pinckney didn't have a chance to do something special. What is that something special that you want to basically finish?
Well, for me, I want to tell the stories of Charlestonians that don't get told. I am working on a magazine, a digital magazine that I'm so tickled about. I will invite you to the unveiling. And in that, I want to talk about things that are off the grid. The people who are, I call them the under the radar heroes, people you don't hear about, who are making change and doing things. And it's a chance for me to be something I've always wanted to be, which is a publisher. I'm also finishing a book about my adventures last year. First Black woman to run for mayor. And I want my nieces to look back on that and remember. So part of what I feel, Quintin, is to use the gifts we have to communicate and tell our stories. We can't rely on other people to tell them. We've got to tell them. We've got to be in control. As Jonathan Green says, we've got to be in control of the imagery. And that's important to me. And I want to spend the rest of my life doing that.
Well, I interviewed Jonathan Green and Nigel 2 weeks ago for this web show.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
Thank you so much.
He is an extraordinary man. Gullah through and through, and proud of it. And that's the message. I think that Charlestonians resonate, Black Charlestonians, our kids in particular, our contribution to this place, Quintin, is huge. You know it better than most because you walk the streets of Charleston and you see the footprints, but our kids have no idea what they've done.
Right.
And it saddens me sometimes when I think about how Charleston is changing. I mean, just riding down King Street today, I mean, my goodness, where's all the stuff that used to be there? It's gone. So you can't fight that, and I understand it, but I could sure use my voice to talk about what was.
Yeah. You talk about sharing your adventures. Let's go back to November. When you think of November to right now, what is the biggest thing that sticks out in your mind?
I lost. I lost the election. I thought I would have been a great mayor, Quintin, and I had big plans and dreams, but I realized that that door opened for someone else. And what I needed to do was to take that time and figure out how I could contribute.
Yeah.
So from November until now,
Right.
that's what I've been thinking about.
Wow.
What should I be doing? How should I contribute? Will I run for office again? I didn't want to just get out there and run for anything just because. It has to fit. It has to feel right. So I'm not ruling out anything else politically, but I needed time to just sit and think. The plus side to that is I met a lot of great people.
You did.
I got to see other parts of Charleston that I never would have seen before and have conversations with people that I never would have met before. I'm very grateful for all of that. And I think that Mayor Tecklenburg seems to be doing a great job. I haven't talked to him. I
Okay.
don't see him. Actually, I saw him last night at the Charleston Historical Library
Right.
Society with Tough Zimbabwe.
Right.
But I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So, of course, we wish him well,
Yeah.
continue to do well for the city. But I'm glad I ran. And I will never regret it because I got a chance to say and focus on some things that I don't even hear about anymore.
Which is?
Well, the gentrification on the east side. That's something that really still concerns me. I'm concerned that one day it's all going to be different and there will be no remnants left of us. The people who were there 150 years ago, the east side was booming. And now it's almost like its last legs. Those types of things concern me. Of course, education and what's going on with Charleston County schools. The closing of Lincoln Middle High, that hurt. It really, really hurt. So I'm still focused on the same issues that I talked about during the campaign.
Yeah.
The same issues. But I have to have another avenue through which to express and to be an advocate. Shirley Chisholm, one of my heroes, I love her. She said, you don't just stand on the corner and whimper and complain, you get out and do something different. So that's what I've been spending my time focusing on.
And speaking of which, you said this on Facebook on February 15th. So thrilled to be writing every now and again for this Charleston City paper. And grateful I get to do what I love.
Yes, writing. That's my joy. That is my joy. And I had a chance to write a couple of articles for them, and I appreciate Chris Hare for opening
Yes.
the door for me for that. That was a lot of fun. I got to be kind of snarky and witty and deep and philosophical all at once, and I appreciated that. And that was one of the reasons I thought, well, you need to do your own thing, Toby. You can, and you should. And I hope that one day my little magazine will blossom, and my goal is to have it be, not just be in South Carolina, the issues, but to focus nationwide
Sure.
on issues that impact women and the challenges that we face. I'm really thrilled for the news about Secretary Clinton
Okay.
heading up the nomination. For a woman to get to that point, it's huge. It is huge. So it sends a message that you can do it. We can be leaders, and our voice needs to be at the table because the challenges that women deal with affect everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm glad about that.
And when was the moment that you realized that writing was something that God called you to do? Because we know that you're a community activist, you're involved with your church, you're involved with homelessness and women and children issues. When was that moment that struck you to say, hey, this is what God has called me to do?
Actually, it came many, many, many years ago when I was writing an essay to get into the CIA. I think I shared with you that I worked there.
Right.
It was my professional career, and I had to write an essay as part of my application package. And I think I wrote about the changing face of China, or something that was going on a long time ago. That essay made the difference in me getting in the door. As part of a larger package,
Right.
could she write? And many years later, Quintin, almost 8 years later, one of the people who read that essay said that let me know that you had some gifts and some skills.
Wow.
And I always treasure that because I thought if that essay could open doors, if I keep writing and doing what I love, it'll open other doors. So for me, it's not just good for me, it's good for my heart, it's good for my soul to share what I see. And I want to help with kids, and write children's books, to encourage them. Because I think if you can share your heart through your writing, and you have a chance to talk to people who have very different ideas, and that's what brings people together. It's not going in opposing directions, it's bringing people to the table and sitting down and talking, and that's what I like to do.
Wow. We know that you're not ruling out political office, and of course you're helping kids and women with issues that are related to our community right now.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, what's next for you personally?
Well, of course, my ministry is very important to me. I'm the associate minister at Mount Baptist Church, and I'm grateful to help Pastor Glover there. And I think internationally, I would like to have a radio ministry again.
Oh,
I had one a long time ago.
Wow.
So I've gotten an opportunity to revisit that. And I hope to one day have a talk show.
You should, and you will.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Not Oprah-like,
Okay.
because there's only one Oprah.
Sure.
But one that looks at issues and delves at issues that are, I think, germane to us. Again, I have to go back to women manage everything. So if you can harness the energy of women talking and generating ideas, it benefits society.
Yeah.
For a lot of issues, I would like to do that one day. I very much want to continue my work with our children through volunteering, through after-school programs. I'm so concerned about this 30 million word gap that children of color face. Before they even get into kindergarten, there's a gap of 30 million words that they have not heard.
Right.
And that sets them back for years. The other day I was reading a story again about the importance of literacy in children and speaking to kids.
Right.
So I was talking with some wonderful folks in the community about what could we do? Could we go to the salons and take books for moms to give their kids? And there's already a pledge card system in place for parents to pledge to turn off their phone and read to your kids. I want to follow up on those things, Quintin, because those babies coming up are going to determine what happens to us down the road. So we need to invest in them now, and these are things that we can all do that don't cost a lot of money, and we can encourage the young moms and young dads to help with our kids so that we don't have encounters with law enforcement because they're not equipped with education. That's a big deal, and there is a big substantial connection between the two.
And quickly, describe to me the following one word, because it's happening in your district right now. Senator Marlon Quintin versus Robert Ford.
Wow. Well, let me say this. I have respect for Senator Ford. He did a lot for the community in his day. And I think that his time is finished.
Okay.
I think it's time for Senator Quintin to take us forward. I think he's handled himself with grace and dignity and heart and compassion. I think he is a man who will stand up for a number of issues with a voice that resonates to the future. So I have a little angst in my heart for Senator Ford, as I know how much it meant to him. But he did his part.
Okay.
And this community will always be grateful to him for what he did. But I think it's time for Senator Quintin to take us forward. Great respect for both of them.
Sure. Well, Toby Smith, it's always good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Quintin, thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you.